Good morning. The old fisherman with you. Hey, we just hooked onto a catfish, I think it is, trolling. We throwed out a gup shrimp and I was just trolling with it. I wanted to see if they'd bite one trolling. I hadn't caught any fish much today, and we decided to try trolling for catfish. I know some fellas that does that, and we caught a small one. Look at that. He's a small one, he ain't a flipper, but hey, he bit trolling. So maybe we on this little catfish point. I didn't bring my worms. We're on the way in, and I decided I was to stop here. We hadn't done nothing with the fish today, people. It's been a terrible day fishing, and I don't mind telling you. And I said, you know, maybe, just maybe, gracious, maybe we ought to troll across this little point, see if we can catch some of these little catfish. I don't know if they'll bite or not, but one bit, hey, if one bites, it could be two somewhere. So hey, we're gonna troll. I tell you, I've never done that with a gup shrimp for catfish. Well, we're gonna try trolling across here for catfish with a gup shrimp, believe it or not. That's what we're gonna try. I don't have any worms, and instead of casting, I'm gonna just troll this thing across here, see what happens. Who knows? Hey, we caught one. People, we've had the worst time perch fishing I think I've ever had in my life. I think I caught 2 perch. You believe that? The old fisherman caught 2 perch all day, all morning. Cannot find them. I don't know what's happened. The rain, something has cut these fish off, and I mean, they shut down. I can't find nothing. I done went all over this lake looking. I can't find nothing. I see a few fish, but not a lot. I see a lot of shad. Nothing stirring. They're just laying on the bottom, I think. So I threw out the daggone jig right here, and hey, what are you gonna see? I didn't pull it 20 yards, and I probably won't get another bite. I pulled about 20 yards, and I had a bite. Trolling a doggone gup shrimp, and I know some fellas that trolls earthworms, and they catch a lot of them. But something's wrong with the fish today after this rain. They just ain't biting. They might turn on in a minute, but I can tell you this, they hadn't bit all morning, and I mean not zero. I have never seen them so bad. My goodness. You know, every so often I have a day that's awful. Well, this is awful. Now, last week I had a couple of bad days, but not awful days. This day is awful. I can't get nothing going. Never seen nothing like it in my life. I don't mind telling you, never. Not this bad. This is awful. I should have brought my worms. I forgot my worms. I see the little catfish flipping. I'm sure I could catch them here with the worms like I do. They out there. And but hey, I didn't bring my worms. So we basically are out here trolling for catfish right this second. I might cast in a minute. That's what we doing. Believe that or not, if you're talking about lazy fishing, trolling, I ain't trolling 20 years. But I threw it out and pulled about 20 yards, boom, one hit it. Like I say, probably won't get another bite. But we caught that one trolling. Trolling across this point about 11 foot of water. These fish probably right up here at about 8 foot. And I'm probably gonna spook them out, trolling over them. You got little humps and bumps on this point out here, and I think that's why the fish come here to feed. Just a good feeding area. Irregular bottom is what it amounts to. It's an irregular bottom. And I have caught some nice ones out here. And I thought, well, maybe they'll take that doggone gup shrimp troll. And that first one did. Now I can't get a bite. And that's the way it's been all morning with these videos. There's one. There's one. Got a nutty. Got a nutty. Oh my. Told you they hit trolling. Look at that. Trolling. A gup shrimp. My goodness. Huh. Can't believe it. I'm telling you. Can't believe it. I don't think they're big, but hey, right now at this point, I don't care. As long as I'm getting a tug on my line. It has been an awful day, people. And we have got a catfish on. Trolling. And he's a good eating size too. Kind of Miss Deborah Life right there. Trolling the gup shrimp. You've got to love it. The old fisherman is trying to scrap out a couple of fish for the day. The last minute with his gup shrimp. Hey, I don't mind trolling. I'm gonna throw it out and do it again. I'm gonna throw it back across there. Who knows? Might be a nut hit it. Oh Lord, threw it out and one and nailed it. Oh my. Hey, might be done got into something here. That now I could have called casting because he hit it going down. So we're going to cast and troll around this point right here and try to make a show on the way in for catfish on Lake Monticello. You got to love it. The old fisherman might be going to stumble on something before he goes home, and he loves it. Let me tell you, look at that, catching catfish with a white gup shrimp. You got to love it. The old fisherman is starting to get geared up here, excited again. He's been in the dumps all morning because those perch have laid it to the old fisherman. So hopefully, just hopefully, we can lay it in to some of these doggone catfish out here before we go home and make a day out of nothing. That's what we're doing. We're making a day out of nothing. Hey, maybe I just need to cast instead of troll. Let's try to cast a couple times. But anyhow, we're making a day out of nothing, people. That's how bad it's been today. Out of nothing. I'm telling you, it's been awful, and I don't know what happened to these fish. Now, the water's starting to move a little bit now, so they're probably going to bite this afternoon. I got to go home in a minute. But, hey, this is the last step of going home. The last stop is what I'm doing, and who knows? Hey, who knows? We might, there was a bite. There was a bite, and I missed him. We might catch a mess of fish and make us a little catfish video right before we go home. On Lake Monticello, I'm telling you, you got to love it. People, I heard something on the way over here this morning on WCOS I can't still thinking about. This man he was dying and he knew it, the family knew it, and so he made arrangements to send his wife a present on a birthday and flowers every special day for the rest of her life before he passed away. And they was asking, was that a good thing or was it a bad thing? Hey, that was a bite right there. Doggone. Missed it. But, hey, I don't know about that one. You know, I guess if it's a real old person and, you know, is probably not thinking about getting remarried, I think maybe that would be okay. But some young person or younger that's probably going to end up getting remarried, I don't believe that the new husband or wife would like somebody that's passed away be sending flowers. I don't think it would make any difference, but it would bring back another part of their life that they might not want to think about. And I don't know if that'd be a good idea. I tell you, I'm curious about that one. I don't know. There's all kind of people calling in. Some said one way and some say the other. So how sweet it would be, and then others say, no, don't want to do that. It would bring back too many memories. And I don't think that's a good thing. I really don't. You know, when you passed away, you know, whoever's left's got to move on. And that's my opinion. But anyhow, I thought I'd bring that up. That was right neat this morning on the radio, coming over here about that little story. And I had to bring it up. But, hey, people, another little thing. I called my wife this morning, and she was all upset because they threw so much work on it at work at one time. Let me tell y'all something. I had to have a little talk with her, because I'm telling you, and I know from experience. I used to do these school jobs, and they'd give me a doggone set of plans about a foot thick. And if you look at the whole picture or something, it'll drive you crazy. You can't look at the whole picture. Let me tell you, you got to, when you got a task like that that's that big ahead of you, you got to get a plan and get the order that you need to do things. Make a plan of what order you need to do things, and you look at each step at what you got to do. You don't look at the whole picture. The whole picture will drive you crazy. It's like eating an apple. You got to do it bite at a time. There you is. Oh my, we're going to catch a couple catfish before we go home, sure enough. But it's like eating an apple at a bite at a time. I mean the good size too. Them size I like to catch and eat. But hey, you take off a bite of apple at a time. You don't eat the whole bite in one bite, or the whole apple in one bite. Is what I'm trying to say. Hey, so I'm telling you, you remember what the old fisherman's telling you. You take off a bite at a time, and in that job, you work a plan and do it step by step. I used to get them plans, and I'd sit down and work on them a week and figure out, doggone, it's starting to bite out here now. I told you about this place out here right in the middle of the day. Well, it's going to happen today, I believe. I think he pulled my gulp shrimp down. They starting to come in. We might sit right here and catch us a mess of fish if they don't tear up all my gulp shrimp, and they want them to. Hey, we might have to put You Got to Love It on there. I know it won't tear up, and they'll probably hit it. This gulp shrimp ain't smelling none anyhow. Yeah, they'll probably hit You Got to Love It right here. What I'm thinking. But anyhow, go back to the story. You got to take it step at a time, make a plan, and know what order to do that step at a time. That's important. But anything in life, you can't look at the big picture. You can't let it overwhelm you, and let it throw you out of whack. And you just got to remember to focus on each piece of the pie until the pie is gone. Is what I'm trying to say. Y'all need to remember that. If you get something that's overwhelming, don't let it blow you out of proportion. Don't let it overwhelm you. Sit down, figure out a plan, work the plan, and that is the key. And that is, my friend, the key of life. Get a plan, work the plan. You going to college, whatever you want to do in life, you need to make a plan of how you're going to approach what you want out of life. And once you make that plan of how you're going to approach what you want out of life, you need to work the plan. Because if you don't, you'll be like a daggone piece of tiny styrofoam blowing around in the wind. You'll be blowing around in circles, and 10 years later, you still won't have that plan, and you still be right where you was at 10 years ago. So it's important to get a plan, work a plan, and do what the old fisherman tells you to do. And that will help you succeed in life. Without a plan, you got no chance. I had a plan this morning with these fish, but they sure didn't work like I wanted to. So I keep going through, and my plan is in pages of that book I keep talking about, my fishing book. But I've been running through them pages all day. Hey, and I done got to the last sentence of the last page when I stop here and throw out this without worms. Now, if I was sitting here with worms, I promise you, I'd be catching them. I'd be catching them. But I got nothing but a gulp shrimp to catch catfish with, is what I got, basically. And it ain't wanting to stay on the hook. So, hey, we ain't hitting on much right here right now. But, hey, we caught a couple, and we're telling the story, and they are hitting a little bit. They are. If I can get me a decent shrimp out of here, I might have to put them, You Got to Love It on there. On there. I got some used ones in here. I put it back in that juice to make them. There's no new ones left, I don't believe. But I put them back in the juice to ignite them, to make them keep the smell, per se. Is what I'm doing here. And some of them's been used several times, and they ain't strong at all. So I got to get a new one put on. But my wife was all upset because they done give her so much work. And I done told her this story. You got to make a plan, work the plan. She knows that. She knows how to do it. Man, I used to do schools with 2 or 3 helpers. You got to make a plan when you got that much going on. And if you don't, you ain't got a chance, buddy. You got to go through the steps to get it done. You can't jump on it and be scatterbrained. You got to be focused on the plan. Work the plan. It's the only way. Kind of like these catfish out here. Look at that. Took it on the way down. Took it on the way down. Highly. Hey, we're going to catch a couple catfish right here on the way out, people. I'm telling you. A couple catfish. They not big. They little. And I knew they was going to be little. But let me tell you, on a gulp shrimp, not an earthworm. If I had earthworms, I'd be throwing that out. So now, I tried it with the gulp shrimp, and I'm catching a couple. Hey, they biting it. And so that's all I need to know. If I can catch a couple, I'll mess around here and work this situation. And with my little plan now is with this gulp shrimp, and catch me a mess of catfish on the way out. And make a halfway decent day out of a bad, terrible, I want to tell you, upsetting day with these white perch. I don't know what happened to them today, and they're probably going to eat it up this evening. But hey, I ain't going to put nothing down for a white perch no more today. I done had enough of them. They done laid it to the old fish. Hey, I laid it to them plenty of times. I guess that, hey, it's their turn to lay it to me. Don't you reckon? That's what they're doing. Let me tell you, they are laying it to the old fisherman today. I promise you. I promise you. But we're going to scratch out a little video here. I want to tell you, you can't take on something big and do it and look at the whole picture. Analyze the situation, make a plan, work the plan, and it'll be okay. It'll be okay if you nibble at that apple till you get the apple ate. Piece of advice from the old fisherman. Whew, man, it's getting hot now, getting humid. But hey, I'm telling you, this little spot right here, same little spot that we fished here with them worms and I've caught them catfish, same little place. It's just a good catfish splat in the evening when they start pulling water. And it always will be, I believe. There he is. Golly, I missed him. Ooh, he hit it pretty hard and I missed him. See, the problem is they're little now. So, hey, I'm using a little 2-inch gut shrimp. And it takes a little 2-inch gut shrimp, but these catfish ain't big. But I'm using an 1/8 ounce jig head. And all I'm doing is throwing it out there and letting it go to the bottom. And then after it hits the bottom, I yo-yo it back in. That's all I'm doing. All I'm doing. Kind of work it back in. I don't even know if it's just casting it and reeling it straight wouldn't work. Probably would, because I caught them a couple of trolling and it wasn't hopping. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't hopping. But if you throw that sucker by a catfish, he will cream it. He will cream it. I'm telling you, he will cream it. I had a bad day yesterday because I'm telling you, after that rain, after I caught that bass yesterday on video, people, it rained so hard. I know it rained 2 inches. I just sat there. I couldn't even fish. It was raining so hard. I was hoping it was going to quit. For 2 hours, it never quit. I finally gave up and went home. I'd never seen rain like that, but it rained here. And that's probably why I got these fish all messed up. It rained here. I figured this morning after the rain, and it was in here yesterday, they'd bite, but they didn't. Hey, they didn't. They didn't bite at all. There you go. Golly, I missed him. That was another one. That was another catfish. I stuck him a little bit, but that was it. Hey, they out there. It's just a matter of throwing out there and catching. That's all it is. It's a matter of throwing them out there and catching. We're going to work this little flat here for about 20 minutes, and I'm going home with a few catfish for dinner, hopefully. I like to have catfish about every 4 or 5 days, or fillet perch. I had kept that bass the other day, and I filleted him up, and he was so strong, I ain't keeping no more bass over here this time of year. In the wintertime, they taste pretty good over here. But let me tell you, that bass was he was oily. Been eating too many tread fins. So I'm not going to keep the bass no more. I'm not saying I'm never going to keep another bass, and I did make that comment, but I'm going to restate that, because I will keep a bass out of Lake Murray if I catch him. I tell you right now, I love a bass out of Lake Murray. They good out of Lake Murray. Doggone it, they hitting it and I'm missing them, people. They bumping it and I'm missing them. Now that first couple hit it hard. I'm thinking the ones hitting it now are smaller, maybe. Maybe they're smaller. But hey, we get a couple bites. My goodness, I ain't had a bite hardly all day. So I don't mind a couple bites. You got to love it. The old fisherman, he is struggling, let me tell you. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make videos every day like I normally do, people. They're getting tougher and tougher. Now Thursday and Friday, the way I got on them fish, I couldn't believe that, because I normally don't get on fish this time of year like that. Them suckers was out there, and I wore them out. But hey, that might be the last. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. There's one. Another Monticello jumbo little tiny catfish. I'm gonna call him a jumbo little tiny because, let me tell you, hey, that's some good eating. That, my friend, is what the old fisherman loves to eat. Huh? If I can catch me about 10 more of them, I'd be happy as a pig in slop. Because I was almost, but not going to stop here. I was almost, but going to go straight home and have tears going down the road how sorry the fishing trip was today. And it's sorry, but let me tell you, I'm getting a couple bites now. I'm getting all fired up. It don't take but a few bites to fire me up, let me tell you. If I get to thinking something might be biting, I don't care if it's a catfish, I don't care if it's a gizzard shad if I'm fishing for him. I love catching fish, and I don't care what kind he is. I love getting that bite. You got to love it. I was just thinking right a while ago, I said, you know, I might have to go to Lake Murray tomorrow. Hey, go catch my 5 rockfish, maybe try to get on some perch while I'm out there. I could do that. But you know what? I'm going to tell you what happens every time I do that. Every time I talk myself into going back to Lake Murray, that'll be the day. If I would have come over here, I'd have tore them up. Last Thursday, I was going to Lake Murray. And what did I do? I got up late. And I said, well, ain't no need to go buy no herring and go to Lake Murray. I was going to buy me a dozen herring and go out there and catch 5 fish. What I was going to do? I was going to hit the thing. They out there. If I had worms out there, I could probably be catching them fast as I could throw it out to people. And I can blame my own self for not bringing the worms. Tomorrow, I promise you, I'm going to have worms in the boat. We might sit here and catch the crap out of catfish tomorrow if I have worms. I don't know. But I'm telling you, they don't bite it. They don't bite a lot of times in the morning. They like it midday here. Hey, yeah. Uh-oh. That's one of them doggone rocks that's out there. A stump. That's going to mess me up. Hey, that's going to make me pull right over the top of my doggone fish. Doggone. That's the way it works. Everything's going smooth and get hung up. But anyhow, hey, we making a little short video to let you know that I ain't caught any perch today. Caught a couple. Might as well say not any. Caught a couple. I'm embarrassed over it. I don't mind telling you. So I'm telling you, you people go fishing, don't catch something one day. It don't mean that you ain't fishing right. It might just mean that, hey, they ain't biting right. Because the old fisherman definitely had his troubles today on Lake Monticello. Hey, and now we're hung up with more trouble. I got it off though. There ain't nothing but irregular humps and bumps. There might be a few rocks out there, I'm thinking. Right in here. So it's humps and bumps out in there, and that makes you get hung up. Now I'm pulled right on top of where the fish are, and that ain't good. Even with these these catfish, that ain't good. That ain't good. So hey, I got to pull back out and get away from these fish in here, and let them come back in. Oh, that was bite. Doggone, they hard to hook, man. I'm telling you, them little fish, if they'd be pounders, I could be catching them good. But they ain't. They half to 3/4 pounders, so they're a little bit harder to catch them. Them big ones, for some reason, them big ones don't come in here. They come in here some. I mean, I caught a couple nice ones the other day over here. But hey, for some reason, the big ones don't come in here like they ought to. Whew, man, I'm tired. I ain't caught any fish, and I'm tired. I have stressed out. I've been from perch fishing to crappie fishing to catfishing on the rocks over there, casting this, nothing over there, nothing. And I have struggled. Went on my little crappie hole on the point I used to catch them in the summer, nothing. I seen fish down there, they wouldn't bite. I believe it's crappies on it too. Maybe if I had some minnows, I could catch them. I put a Billy Gorman jig on, like I used to catch them on, nothing. Tried to gut shrimp on them, nothing. And I believe there was crappies on that daggone little hump out there that I fish on. It looked like crappies. Hey, I usually know what they look like too. I'm thinking it was crappies. I'm thinking it just ain't biting. That's what I'm thinking. I think I'm gonna troll this thing through here and see what happens. Hey, we caught a couple. Y'all bear with me, we'll catch a couple more, and at least we might get on. I know I'm putting some bad videos on here lately, and I apologize. But let me tell you, I try to do something every fishing trip if it's good or bad. And I know y'all don't want to look at nothing too bad, so if it's really bad, I can't put nothing on there. But if I catch anything that's, and I'll tell a story or two or something that's worthwhile, I will put it on there. My wife don't much want me to. Like the one yesterday, I caught that bass and went to tilt the doggone camera down to show the bass, and it was going to weigh the bass, and then the darn thing cut off. So she found out that she could tie the two videos together. That's why it was like it was on the tube last night. And she was playing with that and finally got that to work. But we don't know how to blend all this stuff together like the pros. And that's one reason I said I would never cut videos. I did piece them two together because I turned the camera right back on. So it wasn't like it was it was a lot of time in between, but I accidentally hit that button. And hey, when you accidentally hit that button, she gonna cut off. Sometimes I go to grab that thing, it'll cut off. And it aggravates the devil out of me, I don't mind telling you. So I was so aggravated when I cut it back on, I just threw the bass back. I was planning on tilting it down, weighing the fish, and I don't know what that fish weighed. That fish was a pretty good fish. He might have weighed 6 pounds. Don't go there with the fish right now. He might have weighed 6 pounds. And but hey, Nobody knows I threw him right back because I was so upset I didn't cut the thing off. And then when I get back on there, I couldn't catch no more fish. And you know, it's just, this video, when the fishing is really not good, I won't have any trouble in the cold months doing a video, I promise you. I can do 5 a day in the cold months. But when it's warm like this, I have trouble. Now, if you get on the perch good, you don't. But hey, sometimes, by gosh, sometimes they just don't bite. This morning, I was seeing bass all over the place out there, but I couldn't get one to bite. I put the 3-inch gut shrimp. I tried everything I knew to try. Spoon, could not get a bite. I mean, I tried hard. And I had that camera turned on and tell a lot of stories and delete them. I mean, without any fish, you can't, you know, I can't put something on without fish. I put something on close enough right now without any fish. And I don't like doing it. But hey, I feel like you people out there want to see something now. So you got me under pressure. I got myself under pressure. Under pressure of trying to make a video when the fishing's tough and live streaming. It's almost darn near impossible when it gets hot summer. And that's what it's getting, hot summer. It's like these catfish. We started, caught a couple, boom, quit. And now the video's getting long. You don't have but a brief moment to tell a story and catch a fish. I'm going to try to catch one more and I'm going to let y'all go. I told the stories, we caught a couple little catfish, and I know I can catch a couple more out here. I know it. If I had worms in a carp out there, they'd be going down. I promise you, they'd be going down. Because that's what they want. Yesterday, when I went to go back in, it was thousands of mayflies hatching. I bet them trees right there are full of mayflies. That might be another reason these fish ain't half biting. When them lavas float up to the top, and then the little mayfly flies out that lava, it hatches out on top when it floats up. And when it does that, they got so much food to eat. They're plucking them things as they floating up. And these fish might be full of mayfly larvae. And that's probably why I'm having a hard time catching fish right here today. It's because all that mayfly hatched out yesterday. And every year, when they hatch out, after they get to eat them things, if you can catch them just right, you can catch them on mayflies. Especially, used to be on Lake Murray, we take a brim fly rod and a brim popper, and if you find you a little deep pond or something, on a deep water right close to it, and them doggone mayflies would be in the trees and stuff on the edge, you could wax them doggone brim, bass, and everything would come up and be eating on them mayfly larvae. Take a little brim popper and take a fly rod. Now that's some fun if you're in the right lake. It ain't like it used to be around here, but one time you could take you a brim popper and have you one large time with a fly rod when the mayflies was all in them trees on the corners, like on that point right there. I mean, you throw that baby out there and you could have a large time catching. Big old slab titty brim, I call them. The kind you can't reach around, you got to put up against your titty to take off. Them is the kind I'm talking about. And you talking about fun? My goodness. When I was a kid, we used to do that, and that was really some fun. I look forward to a mayfly hatching every year. But hey, it ain't like that no more, it don't seem like. I don't know, you got so many houses, the trees ain't like they used to be, and the brim ain't like they used to be. So, they might still do it up the river. If you get up the river somewhere, you probably still catch one of that fly rod. That's a good way to catch fish, people. I'm trying to catch one more, and I'm going to let you go if I can catch one more little tiny catfish. Oh, there he is. There he is. There he is, finally. Hey, that's pretty nice. Finally. Hey, about the same size. Finally got another bite. My goodness. Huh? My goodness. Lake Monticello, the old fisherman's struggling, and he's trying to squeeze out a limit, not a limit, but a mess of catfish here today, and he's catching them. How? With a gut white shrimp. And that just goes to prove they will. Little ones even hit it. Hey, cast it. It sure will. You see it? Hey, you see it? Lake Monticello, I'm going to let y'all go. But hey, y'all listen to what I say now. You bite off an apple, piece of apple at a time when you get overwhelmed with a big job. And you people is trying to plan what to do in life, make a plan. Make a plan. If it's wrong, still make a plan and try to work the plan to be successful. Without a plan, you're going around in circles. So the old fisherman is telling you how to live your life again. I'll see you.